Hi everyone, how you going? So today you would have seen on the page the story from the ABC about the shoe shop debacle in Sedona. So looking at the comments on the ABC Facebook page and then again on the ABC Northwest Facebook page where I've found the article to be posted, there seems to be some people that just cannot accept the life experiences of people on the card. One comment on the ABC Northwest was having a go at ABC for a misleading article. And I don't see how the article could be misleading, because the facts of the matter are, parent couldn't buy shoes the right size that fitted. This is where it started. Then couldn't pay cash on buy, sell and swap sites. Then the shoe shop closed down, right? No one said anything about whether it was because of the card or whatever, right? But the shoe shop closed down, leaving a sports store that sells sports shoes that are a lot more expensive in town, leaving people on the cashless debit card, 955 of those people in Sedona, in a situation where, as Ramsey says it, just buy online. When a majority of those people don't have internet for a start, it's a bit difficult to just buy online, right? And those that do have internet have to hit and miss as to where they can buy online, because majority of online businesses still want PayPal as the source of payment, and the card bans PayPal. Now, the best place that people would go to buy shoes online would be to head to eBay. Again, PayPal is banned. So the only option, if you were going to use eBay, would be to use Afterpay. Now, you're going, Afterpay? Because Afterpay is approved. And we've had Indu staff turn around and tell people, no, we can't release your cash to buy that item, but you can go and put it on Afterpay and use your card to pay the 4 payments on Afterpay. What they don't tell you is that when you're using a buy it now, pay, buy it now, pay it later credit service, right? They use that against you as poor money management. Even though you'd think that, as long as everybody does the right thing, you'd think that that would add to your credit rating, but it doesn't. It's actually being used against you as you're a poor money manager, because you have to use a buy it now, pay it off system. You know what I mean? Which is disgusting. But I don't think it's right that Indu should encourage people to use Afterpay. I don't have a problem with Afterpay. I've said that a million times. I don't have a problem with ZipPay. If people are disciplined enough not to pay late, or and they fixed it up, that's fine. Many parents use it, but it shouldn't be the alternative to having access to what was your money. Do you understand what I mean? Instead of having your money in the bank like you used to have and the freedom to use it as you could, you shouldn't be put in a situation where you need to go and take out third-party credit, right, from another third-party financial institution in order to buy the things that you need. Now, buying online, even if you do get through, you've got to wait for 2 or 3 weeks. And at the moment, God knows how long Australia Post is backed up for from COVID. They're also half staff, all right? And they have to do social distancing in the factory and stuff like that, the postal processing. So it can take weeks only to find out that the shoes don't fit. Then what? The person has lost that money that they probably couldn't afford in the first place. So there's all these barriers. The fact of the matter is, the shoe store that used to be in Sedona, that used to service these families, is gone. Bottom line, right? Buying online is not just an option, because it's not that easy, right? And the trolls that are dismissing card holders' real life happenings are low, in my opinion. You've got one on the ABC Northwest having a shot at the ABC, all right, for a misleading article. You've got one on the ABC Adelaide page that's been on the card and can't see what the problem is. But if you're working and you're on the card and you've got a partner who's working, your experiences on the card are far different to anybody whose total income is stuck on that card. Okay? I just wanted to address this quickly because these people come in with these little one-liner and they try and dismiss the voices of those that are on the card. And we're not going to stand for that. It's time for those voices to be heard loud and clear, not dismissed by somebody who might be vested interest to come in and just, oh, it's misleading, and try and dismiss that person's story. That is not fair. Every card holder is impacted in different ways, right? Some that have jobs don't feel the most painful impacts of it because they have more income accessible to them than those who don't have jobs, that are struggling, that have got kids. It's different for every card holder. So for when somebody says, but it worked for me and I was on the card, well, good for you. It doesn't work for everybody the same way. It's not the same for everybody. So please stop just going on and trying to blanket wipe out the voices of those that are having trouble. Okay? One good news I've just found out, the Perth hospitals now take the card for parking. Now we need to find out if the Brisbane hospitals do. Okay, but we just had it confirmed that the Perth hospitals, right? But this is only a new thing because couldn't do that last year. So we need to find out from people. And we find out from card holders when they rock up and they try and use their card. And they find they can't. And in this case, right, the person who's just confirmed for somebody else, because we've got another card holder headed to hospital in Perth tomorrow, and she wanted to know could she pay for parking, and they've obviously done something to change that over there. But let's see if it can be changed. We know from Adelaide in the past it couldn't be. Maybe it's changed. So we need to know from Adelaide, and we need to know from Darwin, and we need to know from Brisbane. Do the cards work in their car parking machines? Okay. We'll keep you guys updated. It irks me when somebody comes in and it just irks me. PayWave is a pain, Tiffany, because like in Bundaberg up here, they've got a sign up in the window, don't use Indu PayWave because it freezes their whole SPOS system for the whole store. And most of the people up here that did get sucked into ordering a PayWave card, because we were very worried about the consent issues there, I found they don't work. Most of the time it doesn't work. So they don't bother, you know what I mean? Oh, it's all right saying put in your PIN and do this and do that. What's the difference, right? What is the difference when you had to put in your PIN anyway? Insert the card and do the PIN. What's the point? It's crazy. So, so that's just a bit of an update and my bit of a gripe towards the trolls or whoever the vested interests are that come in and have a poke and accuse the ABC of a misleading article. I think they did a good job with that article, actually. They represented the lady that was involved very well. They stated the facts, right? And they, of course, they had to report what the department had to say and what Rowan Ramsey had to say. I don't see anything misleading about their article at all. The fact that a charity has had to step up to help this district, right, is abhorrent. Simple as that. You know what I mean? Simple as that. We should never have any community where a charity has to step up, right? And that charity is going to fly into Ceduna with those shoes, with the podiatrist, right? Deliver the shoes and work out so that the kids can get their shoes fitted correctly, right? That is fantastic of that charity to do that. But this government we can't let this government off the hook for this sort of behaviour. It is not the charity's job to pick up where the government is failing deliberately. This is a political choice of our government, right, to make people homeless. The charity that's helping here is a homeless charity, all right? So they do all of their stuff around providing meals, and homeless supports and sleeping bags for the homeless and stuff like that, right? Leaving the ability to get food to food banks is disgusting. But if you go and have a look at the Tory system, oh, it's disgusting. And Morrison went and visited their social services minister way back at the beginning of his term as social services minister and had a big meeting about things and brought all the policies over here, right? And in the UK, they made huge big cuts, especially to their disability pensions type things. And they kicked so many people off, and they kept doing all these reassessments that 120,000 people died in like a 7-year period. It was ridiculous, right? 10,000 people died within 6 weeks of the policies being brought in because they lost their supports, they lost their carers, they lost their mobility stuff, and they lost the money to be able to go shopping, and they were just being directed to food banks. And the food banks have exploded all over Britain because the government doesn't want to fulfill its social contract to the people. And this is what our government's doing. Simple as that, right? And trying to make things so everything's passed the buck onto the charities is not the way to go. Okay? We need to fight together, workers and people that are not working, right? To stand up to make sure that future generations and our kids have a social security system that is livable, right? And towards at least the poverty line, so that they can at least pay their rent, buy food, and not be pushed into abject poverty, homelessness, right? And missing out on access to medicines and, you know, being able to go to the doctors. So all of us, from the pensioners down to the school leavers, right, the workers, the casual workers, we all have to get together, because at the moment this government's trying to kick us all. And if you look at the omnibus bill that they want to take away the workers' protections and cut the wages on, it is all the service, what I call the service sector, which is the retail and the hospitality industry. They want the serfs serving them on slavery wages. They want you, if you're waitressing at one of their events, they don't want you getting $21 an hour or leave loading or time and a half on a Saturday or double time on a Sunday so that you serve them. They want you to serve them at like $10 an hour. You know what I mean? They want you to not be able to afford to eat, like the American system, where people in hospitality and retail sectors have 2, 3, 4 jobs, are working for tips, right, and still can't afford a 1-bedroom apartment in any city across the whole of the US. We've got that situation now where not one person on a job seeker or youth allowance payment can afford a 1-bedroom unit in any place in this country. And they're struggling to afford room rentals, okay? And families are struggling to afford a house rental. And even if you're working, it's gone to the point now low-income workers can't afford to rent. And we've got tent cities popping up. And this is a big, big concern. Come March, the shit's going to hit the fan. So people need to unite and stand up. Simple as that. It doesn't matter whether you're working. It doesn't matter whether you're old. It doesn't matter whether you're retired. It doesn't matter whether you're a pensioner or you're not a pensioner, right? This is the future of your grandkids, adult people, and we don't need the American system here, and we certainly don't want the Tory system here. We need to get rid of the LNP, and that's what we need to do. Get rid of the Tories, and that's what they are, is Tories, or the Republican Tea Party. Okay? Get rid of them. We can't sustain them. Their $181 a day food budget, their $273 a day accommodation budget. But they're happy to deprive the ordinary person of those very same perks. They'll starve our elderly in their mates' privatised Nursing homes, $6 a day food budget. What does a person on Job Seeker live on? It was around about $4 a day food budget. And these guys have got $181 a day, and they're eating their caviar and they're drinking their wine. Yes. I'll leave it at that, and I'll say goodnight to you guys. As I said, I was just having a bit of a beef about what I've seen. Check out the ABC pages for that article. If you see derogatory or negative comments, right, make your comments. Pull them up. Pull them up. You know what I mean? Because it's not right. No Australian should be, no parent should be going through the stress of this, and no kid should be missing out. Bottom line. Shouldn't even be happening in this day and age. Okay? See you guys.